What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to basketball. My Chicago Bulls are not very good. I anticipated them not being a good team this year, but I didn't think it would be this bad. It's gotten to the point where I don't even want to watch them, which says a lot because I always want to watch basketball, but this team is probably one of like the three teams in the East that I can't even stand to watch at this point. I don't think it's very hard to figure out which three teams those are if we look at the standings here. Surprisingly, I was able to watch the Hornets. Like, they actually were making a lot of strides despite them not winning games. They were in a lot of close games with LaMelo Ball playing well. Obviously, he's hurt now, so wishing him a speedy recovery. But the Pistons, Wizards, and Bulls are just completely unwatchable. And I'm at the point now where you got me looking on the internet just saying, like, yo, where can we send DeRozan? Where can we send Levine? Nobody's trading for Vucevic. Let's free Alex Caruso, man. Get rid of everybody on this team. So when the Bulls brought these guys together, my initial thought was this makes no sense. I don't know how these guys fit together. I was excited by the principle that, you know, the Bulls are trying again, right? This is awesome. It had been a while since they had really tried to put something together, and I was excited by that notion. I just didn't understand how these guys were going to work together. Then you brought Lonzo Ball in, and things just clicked, man. He was the perfect guy to just get the ball moving with all of these star scorers, right? There's not too many more talented big threes than what Chicago has between Levine, DeRozan, and Vooch. But Lonzo was what kind of made it all work, and obviously we don't know when or if he'll be back on the court, and it's past the window of opportunity for this team to try to become something. So it's very much time to blow it up. So we're going to start looking at DeMar first. The word on the street is that Levine's trade value is tough because of the amount of money that he makes, which I understand that. I mean, I still think Zach LaVine is one of the most unstoppable scorers in basketball because there isn't anything he can't do on the court, from the finishing, the tough shot making. He can handle the ball. His defense has been actually pretty solid. Like, his on-ball defense is still kind of it's pretty mid, if you will, but his off-ball defense is actually pretty good. He plays passing lanes really well, and so he would help any team that's in need of a scorer. But looking at what DeRozan can bring to teams, right? Obviously, we're a little bit older. We're at 34 years old now, so we're not getting the exact return that we probably want to out of a DeMar DeRozan type, but that's fine. But what you're getting in terms of production still is 22 points a game on a team where other guys are scoring, right? And the playmaking's still there, too. We saw a big uptick in his playmaking towards the end of his Toronto stint, and especially when he got into San Antonio. Pop ran a lot of stuff through him. So you're still getting a decent amount of just general playmaking from him, and the shot making has been actually pretty solid. It looks like, is this the best of his career? He's been shooting from three. Yeah, and this is the most he's been shooting from three besides that one season in Toronto as well. That was when he was like, okay, to beat LeBron this year, I'm going to need to shoot some threes. But yeah, you're actually getting a couple three-point attempts out of him a game now, and he's converting at a pretty solid clip. The two-point percentage is definitely down from where we're used to with him, but in all fairness, this Bulls team is just such a disaster. I don't know. I guarantee you, if you traded this guy, you would see the effect of what you see with a lot of guys that get traded, where they just kind of get to hoop, and DeRozan is just a hooper. So if you throw him on a new team where there's DeMar, just go out there and hoop, he's going to ball out. He's going to absolutely ball out. He's going to push a team. And we'll talk about the teams that he's going to go to, but just wanted to address those quick. The free throw percentage is a little bit down as well. I'm not too concerned about that with DeMar DeRozan, but I'd be curious to see what he can do to these teams that are competing for higher seeds in the playoffs. So when we actually then take a look at some of these potential packages, there's the three teams that come up, right? It's the Lakers, right? And then there's the two teams that apparently he prefers to go to, which are the Heat and Knicks. We're going to start with the Lakers, though, because this is one that I don't even know. I'm not sure I understand the basketball fit with him in Los Angeles exactly, but I think that's probably the best return the Bulls can get. So the package that they propose in this article from Forbes, I guess, is D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, Jalen Hood-Schifino, he's the rookie this year, a first-round pick for DeMar DeRozan, and Alex Caruso. Now, I can't build this on the NBA trade machine yet because I don't know why I understand that these guys can't be traded yet, but just flag it or something. Let me still propose it and mock it up and stuff. So a lot of the Lakers players, because they just signed new contracts, can't be moved yet. And those are a lot of the guys that would be involved in a trade like this. Here's my problem with this trade right here is that, you're giving up DeMar DeRozan, and they're talking about Alex Caruso like he's just a supplementary piece to the trade. Alex Caruso's a first round pick in himself. And I know that that's what they're kind of saying by being like, look, we're giving you D'Angelo Russell and Rui Hachimura. And that's great. I'm saying if I'm them, if I'm the Bulls, you can keep D'Lo, man. I have no use for D'Angelo Russell. I've got enough point guards on this team. You can keep him, go be competitive and stuff, but we need some different talent. What I would be more curious to see, and I wish I could build it out in the trade simulator here, is I would like to see a combination more so of Austin Reeves. I think if Austin Reeves was included in it, the money gets a little more complicated, obviously, but I'm much more interested in him as a basketball player and his development. So if you threw in like him, and then maybe like, I don't even know, like a Torian Prince, a Shafino for DeRozan straight up, I might be more interested in something like that. Now, if you throw Caruso in there, then you got to give me a first round pick as well, things like that, because I truly do view LaVine, DeRozan, that's at least a first round pick. Probably for LaVine, I'd almost say 2 first round picks of value. It's close. I know I'm a Bulls fan, but I want it to be close to 2 first round picks worth of value. And Caruso himself is worth a first round pick. All right, let's go to the Heat, one that we can look at a little more closely. And they're proposing Kyle Lowry, mostly for salary purposes, Nikola Jovic, 2019 first for DeRozan and Caruso as well. So this trade we can actually mock up here, and in this one, I decided just to do DeRozan for Lowry and Jovic straight up. That trade works. Obviously, it projects the Heat are going to be better, right? They're not losing anything that crazy. The Bulls in this scenario would also be getting like a first-round pick, would be my idea. And that way I'm like, okay, we get a first-round pick. Great. I'm not giving up Caruso for these type of players and 1 first round pick. Like the Heat have more first round picks that they can include to make a deal like that work, and those type of players might just put them over the edge in a lot of senses. So I'm holding them hostage and being like, no, I need to get another pick out of this, because they don't really have the young players to supplement something else. So I want Jovic and I want a first round pick for each of those guys. So for the time being, we're just talking DeRozan. Give me Jovic, Lowry, a first round pick. I can live with that as a Bulls fan. Jovic is a young player. He's definitely an NBA quality player. I've seen enough of him play. I like the shooting and everything. Lowry just gets to be on the team. Sorry, Kyle Lowry, that you have to come play in Chicago in this instance. And then we get a first round pick. I can swallow that to go see DeMar DeRozan and be happy somewhere else. And then finally, the New York Knicks, they propose Evan Fournier, Dylan Windler, Daquan Jeffries, a 2014 first, and a 2024, did I say 2014? 2024 first, 2024 second. So I'm going to be honest with y'all, that's got to be one of the most ass trades I've ever seen. I went and adjusted it a little bit. So for DeRozan, Evan Fournier is the key. There's a reason like he's on the team and they're not just like buying him out. It's because they want to use him in trades like this. And you know what? I'm happy to take a first and a second from them for taking on that contract. One, because there's like 2 years on it still, but so I need a first and a second for it, but I also need to get like some sort of supplementary player for DeRozan, right? And so I threw Q Grimes into it because he's not like a stud player. He's not a stud player, but he's something. He's a young player that can put up some shots and everything. Let's see what he does in Chicago. He's not going to become an all-star or anything like that, but I got to get somebody young that I can try to develop and have be a future piece for this team. Then we also threw Jericho Sims and Miles McBride in here. They wouldn't be on the team past this season. Don't have anything against them as players. They're just probably not good enough. And then obviously we get a first and a second out of this. I think that's fair for DeRozan. If we look at the standings right now, the Lakers being 12-9, they're kind of struggling a little bit. Austin Reeves is a little bit like he's not quite fitting in the offense so far this year. And I'm not saying that won't change, because I think it will. I think Austin Reeves is a brilliant player, and I don't think it'll be easy to pull him away. But I like to think if they dangled DeRozan and Caruso, that they would bite on something like that. Just having hustle guys around LeBron is such a big deal, and Reeves is one of those. But I don't know, I feel like the allure of having Alex Caruso back might entice them. But seeing them go up the ladder is definitely a possibility. The Mavericks are so like hit or miss every night just because of their defense. The Suns are always injured. These teams are going to be tough to keep up with. I wonder if the Timberwolves start to fall at some point. For the time being, they haven't. But I think adding DeRozan to the Lakers does make them better. I don't think it makes them a contender, though. So that would be my hesitation if I'm a Lakers fan in all of that. But we all know the Lakers are going to pull the trigger when they want to pull the trigger. As for the two Eastern Conference teams, the Knicks have been like really, really good this year in terms of like their team construction and how they're actually playing. They've got everybody shooting well, which is really cool to see. They're a phenomenal offensive rebounding team, mostly due to Mitchell Robinson. So let's say the trade that we mocked up here happened, right? The rotation player you lose is Quentin Grimes, essentially, and then you've inserted DeMar DeRozan into that. How does that affect the spacing, right? I mean, like we said, he is shooting better this year. He's shooting more, but you are losing probably some shooting. I don't think you're losing anything on the defensive end, but you are just gaining another scorer. But you have a similar player in Jalen Brunson already that kind of works in that mid-range, that slow style type of basketball. And I wonder if you add another player like that, what that really does for you offensively. I feel like that stunts you more than anything, especially because they're not exactly a swing the rock fast kind of team, right? They don't have a guy that can do that like Alonzo Ball or something. So I could see why like a guy like Zach LaVine would probably be more enticing to send to the Knicks than a DeRozan. As for the Heat, I think the Heat's probably the best actual fit for like a DeRozan trade, especially if they got Caruso as well. Those are just two Heat culture type guys, and they just actually do need people that can put the ball in the hoop, because like obviously Hero puts the ball in the hoop, Jimmy does from time to time, Bam doesn't create his own shot, and so having a guy like DeRozan that you can throw out there with all these hardworking role players to kind of take some of the pressure off them scoring wise, yet still provide on defense, I think would be the best fit. And the Heat, obviously, they started off the year kind of rough, and then they've started winning games again. So I'm willing to bet they're probably going to pass up the Pacers, maybe even the Knicks. Getting past Philly, Milwaukee, we'll see what happens with Orlando. I mean, good for Orlando, man. And Boston, probably not happening. But come playoff time, man, I would want DeRozan on the team if I'm the Miami Heat. And so, yeah, that's me being a sad Bulls fan and trying to work out some sad trades for DeRozan. Like, none of these trades are all that interesting and make me all that happy, so I'm not going to sit here and pretend we're going to get this big haul and everything. Basically, we're getting draft picks, and we're going to hope we can hit on them. Usually the Bulls are pretty solid at drafting, but especially at the end of the first round and stuff, but I don't know, man. It's not great times for Chicago, but that's okay. At the end of the day, I just can't watch this team anymore. I need something new to look forward to. So give me some draft picks. Give me an okay young player to throw on the team that it will at least get to put some shots up on the squad, and I can root for his development. But yeah, let me know what you guys think. Leave in the comments where you think he's going to end up, if they're going to trade him at all, how many guys in the Bulls are getting traded, because I think the Bulls are going to be the ones deciding who gets to really make a run in the playoffs this year based on like who are we going to give our good players to that can't play well for us. But yeah, let me know what else you guys want to see and everything, and for the time being I'm just going to keep being a sad Bulls fan. But alrighty, y'all, see ya, bye.